if I have not made $100 million like Alex Hormozi, and I haven't scaled businesses, and I haven't done all the things I've done, what does it look like? I watched the video of Alex Hormozi and Tony Robbins. Alex was like basically asking a few questions, and then Tony was like holding a mirror. And I liked that Alex wasn't afraid to look into it. And Tony was like basically saying, you need to get out of your head and get into your heart. I also noticed a lot of Hormozi fans making videos about this now. They've been making videos about like, hey, we've been learning from the GOAT. We've been learning from our hero. And I agree with a lot of what all of them are saying. All of them are like kind of like, you know, taking 2 steps back and evaluating and asking themselves like, hey, are we really in tune with our purpose in life? Tony Robbins is basically saying you need to find a purpose to do the things you're doing. Instead of it can't just be about money, it can't just be about status, it can't just be about winning. It has got to be about something more than that. Like, hey, this is the reason why I do the things I do, right? But I think the question that has been nagging me since I watched that episode is that, is it because he made it that he can talk about, or maybe the conversation kind of seemed like he was around healing now? What I'm understanding is if you or me went online and talked about this, would it be acceptable because we have not made $100 million? Because, you know, there's this underline, I don't know if this is an Indian thing. I've watched this with some of my friends growing up, but it's like never enough. You get the 99%, it's never enough because you didn't get 100. So I feel like when you talk about things without earning them, right, it's like you haven't done this. So for you to talk about taking a break sounds insane. It's like you have to do something to deserve it. And I think it's probably ingrained in all of us to think like, you haven't achieved what Alex Hormozi has achieved, so you don't get to talk about healing. You achieve what he's done and then go to therapy and then do this or that, whatever shit it is. I don't know what it would have looked like if Alex had this conversation with Tony Robbins when he started like Gym Launch, or when he was in the gym, like sleeping on the floor. And before, you know, he did all the volume, the scaling and all of it. Like I mentioned, I think a lot of us are drawn to Alex Hormozi because we feel like we have to go through the pain too. Like one of my favorite lines that I had written on my wall before is delayed gratification. And to me in life, like literally definition of all parts of my life has been delayed gratification. I never like getting the things I want immediately because it just kind of takes the fun out of it. I kind of like to like think about, you put in the work and then you get it. But the work has to be over a long period of time. I think when we put so much effort, that can be volume, that can be depth, that can be intensity, and we see the results, it's really nice. If you don't see the results, you're going to double down and try things a different way. So I kind of like took a step back and I was like evaluating. I see some anger in me. I see some unjust, like it's not to be dramatic, but I feel like there's a lot of injustice that has happened to me. Not in the victim mindset, but just basically like, not just me, but there's other people that are going through this too, and I want to be the one to fix it, you know? And part of it is watching creators, content creators give advice that didn't work for me, that didn't work for people that are like me. It's like the advice you're giving is something I've tried before you even talked about it. Part of how Jen Yoga came to place is like, I genuinely believe in it because I'm mad that the problem even exists in the first place. I just had to like sit down and ask myself as I'm building this, I'm like, am I building this because I believe in it? Or is it because I'm mad that I couldn't solve this problem through someone else? Am I doing this because someone didn't give me the opportunity that I deserved, that I think I deserve? Or is it because I truly believe in all the things I'm working on? And one thing about me is I don't do things to prove people wrong. That's just not my wiring. I don't believe that because someone did you wrong, that you're going to have to sit there and watch it hit them back. I believe that people are on their own journeys, and whatever they do, whatever they are doing, they're probably meant to do it. So it could be like one person did you dirty and they get the life you think they don't deserve, but they actually do deserve it because you were only seeing from the window when they're living in a whole goddamn house. So I just don't believe it. It's the same for me. If someone's looking at me and is like, this person doesn't deserve this, well, you're not fucking looking at the house, you're looking at the fucking window. So calm the fuck down. there has only been one time in my life where I have ever done something like this. When I was in school, my school principal told my mother that I wasn't being super regular at school, that my attendance was down, that I was not paying attention. And my mom was like, I don't know when you're going to realize that you have a lot of potential, but you just keep doing things like this, and it's really upsetting me. I took a decision that day that principal will hand me a 100% attendance award. I was like, I'm getting it from her. Regardless of what happens, I'm showing up in school every single day. And I did that for an entire year. Because it's not semester, it's an entire year. So I showed up every single day to the school. There was even one time towards the end, I fell sick, but I was still in school. And I remember the last 2 hours of my school, of the day, my teachers were like, you should go home. Like, you're literally so sick. And I said, I'm not going home because you're trying to take the award away from me. Everybody knew that. Like, it was an open thing. Like, I told teachers I'm trying to do this. I ended up getting the 100% attendance award from my principal. I'm smiling now, but the truth is, it did not feel good to me at all, like as a person. It felt good to put a smile on my mom's face, but I wasn't happy about it because I just did something that I didn't want to do just to prove someone else wrong. And ever since then, I just don't do things like that. I do things that make me happy, only if I really want to do it, and it proves the other person wrong. Cool, 2 birds in 1 stone. But I don't think I'll ever do something because I want to prove someone else wrong, because it just puts them on a higher pedestal and gives them more value in my life than they deserve. And when I was watching this video, I was like, at what cost are you doing all of this? I kept thinking to myself, like, I don't want to wake up when I'm 40 and think, now what? Like, what was all of this for? But I also don't know if that's okay too. See, here's the thing, right? I don't believe in regret. I'm 26 years old. I do not believe in regret. I don't have a single regret in life. Do I regret anything in life? No. Because I think when we regret something in life, it's like we're saying, I hope I didn't learn that lesson. And for me, everything just makes sense. I definitely do think we have to build from purpose, not from pain. But the pain can act as a fuel, being like, for me, the reason is like, I am tired of watching creators say things like, build a personal brand and get jobs. Like, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it doesn't work that way. For a lot of people, can you build from pain without making the pain your whole goddamn character? And I don't know the answer to that. I'm just like sitting with it. But yeah, if you're not successful, and if you're just like in the middle of it, or if you're just like from zero, literally starting like me, if you're just grinding and hoping that it means something someday, I guess the only question we would have to ask ourselves is like, what do we think it's going to be? And what if it means something completely different and not what we intend or think it's going to be at all? Yeah, that's it. That's the video. I'll go back to being my old self now.